Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just wanted to talk about I got my background check results from my recent job offer. Let's talk about it. So as I've shared on a previous video, I got a job offer. Actually, I had multiple job offers, but I took the second job offer. Part of that, once I signed the offer, was doing a background check. I submitted a background check and I got my results. Now, this is kind of rare. Of all the roles that I've had to submit a background check, but I've never got a copy of the results. This time, I was able to get a copy of my background check. So let's dive deep into it a little bit and just talk about it. Orange Tree is obviously the background check company. So the company that I'm starting a healthcare sales role, and part of the kind of accepting the offer is doing a background check. Everything is fine. There's no criminal record. There's no bad driving record. There's no bad criminal check. There's no drugs in your system. So I wanted to share that with you all as I got a copy of my results, which is very rare. It's never happened before in my life. And I thought I would just share, see, and let you know what they kind of look at least in healthcare sales roles perspective. So the company's Orange Tree. Obviously, they're a third-party vendor that my company hired to do a background check. Prior to the check, they ask for all your information. They get a copy of your resume, and then they actually have you fill out a questionnaire, just your name, your social security, address, your job history, because they do kind of a deep dive into your background as far as your job. As you can see here in the summary page, they do kind of a criminal background check at the federal level, national level as well, just making sure you're not a sex offender, driver check too, drug screening, just making sure you got a degree. And then they do a deep dive into your employment past as well. And one thing that's interesting that I didn't know was they do a social media search just to see, and we'll dive deep into it a little more, but just making sure you're not, putting negative stuff out there. So as I said on the drug screen, yeah, they do a urine drug screen. They search, I guess they look for 11 drugs: cocaine, amphetamines, opioids, propoxyphene, oxycodone, PCP, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, methadone, MDMA, and then fentanyl. And luckily for me, that was all negative, as you can see up there. So that was a good thing. And the company, when I accepted the offer, they asked right away to go ahead and get a urine drug test done. And usually you got to get that done within the first 48 hours. They do a social security kind of, background check. No issues there. Again, like I said, they do a criminal background check. 7-year, I guess they look at the past 7 years. Could be wrong on that, but nothing to show on my end. I'm not a sex offender. No felonies or misdemeanors in the past 7 years. And I've never had a felony or misdemeanor ever in my life. I don't know if this is what a world watch list was. Clear driving record. So part of that is I do submit my driver's license information just to make sure my driving record's clean, because I do get a company car with this role, so they just want to make sure that I'm going to be a safe driver. They verified my education. I got a bachelor's, back in the day, and that cleared. That was verified. And then they do an employment summary. So on the questionnaire, they did ask for the prior 7 years. So what is that? 2017 onwards, 2018 onwards. They just ask that you enter in all the jobs, the roles that you've had. And I did. And one thing that popped up, a couple things that popped up is they showed my employment from my first job in college. And I was there for almost 7 years. They showed that. And then the job right after that as well. I was there for 3.5 years. That was my first layoff. That was on the background check. I don't know why that popped up, because they're only asking for, the previous 7 years. But anyhow, that pretty much cleared for the most part. But one thing that popped up, and they asked for confirmation on this when they were doing the check, was my role in tech. So I've said on a previous video, I took a tech role back in 2021, and it ended in the end of 2022. This was my title. It was a business development manager. And however, when they went and verified, and I don't know how they verified this third-party vendor, Orange Tree, but they show that I was an account rep 3. Now, never during my tenure there at the tech company was I ever considered an account rep 3. I was always considered a BD, a business development guy. And they asked for documentation on that during the background check. And I gave them a copy of my offer letter. And the offer letter did show business development manager. After that, it was pretty clear. But this was really the first time that I've ever gotten a question in regards to my background check, which was kind of interesting. And as we scroll down, more job, just verifying my roles the previous, 7, 8 years. They also do a social media search. So looking at the social media search, I never knew they'd done this before. Third-party vendors on the background check. But obviously now with social media so big, that's part of the search apparently. As you can see here on the abstract, the overview, I don't post a lot. I have a LinkedIn profile, but other than that, I really don't have any other profiles in social media. But they do look at it apparently. They do a deep dive. They look at Reddit, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, just to see if you're active on there. And they also look at, what you're posting. If you're posting anything that's disparaging, self-harm, prejudice, threats, anything negative, to see if, you are making these kind of posts that could kind of, give a bad vibe to the company. So just to kind of heads up for you folks that are active on social media, just be aware, take down some posts that are negative, disparaging, prejudice maybe, because companies do look for that. So that's my background check. Nothing to really kind of hide. Obviously I hid all my pertinent information, but my driving record is clear. My criminal record is clear. I have really I'm clean as a whistle, essentially. And the only issue was that job title with my big tech company, which fortunately I saved my job offer letter, so that kind of supported. So tell me your thoughts. Have you ever done a background check before? What did it look like? Any kind of disparaging, any kind of, things that really popped out? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.